Hello and welcome. My name is Sebastian. I'm representing my colleagues Claire and Leo, where we will be dissecting the differences in working conditions between Spain and Canada. Although the two countries are 7,000 kilometers across the Atlantic, both countries have many similarities in their working conditions, but also have many noticeable differences, which we will explore today. To begin, we need to understand the workforce of each country. Although Canada has a significantly larger landmass, Spain has approximately 10 million more people than Canada. It has relatively similar labor force participation rate. However, Spain has a significantly higher unemployment rate. The first working condition which we'll look at is probationary periods. Probationary periods in both countries allow either the employer or the employee to end the employment relationship without any severance or compensation. In Canada, the Employment Standard Act entitles employees to a minimum probationary period of 3 months, whereas in Spain we see different periods variable on the type of work that's carried out and on the size of the employer. Probationary periods may not exceed 6 months for technical technicians and 2 months for all other workers. And enterprises employing fewer than 25 people may not exceed 3 months. The next working condition which we'll look at is working hours. Both Spain and Canada average 40 hours excluding overtime during a 7-day period. A noticeable difference is that in Spain, you're entitled to a break after 6 hours of consecutive labor, whereas in Canada, you're entitled to a 30-minute break after 5 hours of consecutive labor. However, both countries have a minimum weekly rest period of 24 hours during each 7-day period. The next working condition we'll look at is minimum working age. In Spain, the minimum working age is 16, although parental authorization is required until the age of 18. And in Canada, the Labor Code sets restrictions for certain industries. However, each province and territory can set their own minimum age for starting work. For example, in the province of Alberta, the minimum age is 12 years old, whereas in the province of Ontario, it's 14 years old. However, both of these countries have in common is that they do have restrictions regarding school hours and the kind of activity and workplaces youth can engage in. The next working condition that we'll look at is parental leave. A difference between Spain and Canada's maternity leave is regarding the pay. In Spain, mothers are entitled to 100% of their salary during a 16-week leave, whereas mothers in Canada are only entitled to 55% of their salary but during a 15-week leave. Where the difference comes in is that in Canada, any parent is entitled to from 40 to 69 weeks off, depending on the type of parental leave benefits they choose. There's two types. The first is a standard parental leave, where combined the parents can take up to 40 weeks together, with 55% of their salary being paid. Or the second option is an extended parental leave, where both parents share 69 weeks but only receive 33% of their salary. In contrast, in Spain, fathers are only entitled to 8 weeks off, but both parents will receive 100% of their salary compensated during this leave. Now, the last space that we'll look at is wages and salaries. A noticeable difference between Spain and Canada in regards to wages and salary is how the distribution of wages is controlled. In all of Spain, the minimum wage is 1,108 euros per month, and its wages are controlled and selected by the federal government. However, minimum wage varies in Canada depending on the province and the territory, as these wages are controlled by the provincial government. The fastest growing industries in terms of salary in Canada include accommodation and food service fields, whereas in Spain, the growing industries for salaries are aerospace, defense, and tourism. The differences in the growing industries per country affects the accessibility of the growing wages to the public, and this is seen through the household income variance between Spain and Canada. So now we've explored the different working conditions between the two countries, and we hope you're able to recognize that although they are very unique countries, they have some comparable working conditions, but also some very clear distinctions. Thank you so much for your undivided attention, and we hope you enjoyed the presentation.